Good evening, Javier Franco. Perspective from my porch. Um, I've been off for a while. I've had some personal issues that I need to take care of, and everything's fine. But I've been doing some things, and I've been doing a lot of thinking, and so I'm going to try to start this up again. Uh, I'm going to be posting these on my Facebook page for Steps for Success. I'm also going to be posting this on my YouTube channel, that is a Perspective from my porch. And then I'll be posting something different on a TikTok account that I have. It's under my name, and you're more than welcome to see any of them. If you want to like it, all of them, that's great. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it is called Perspective from Our Porch, and I have a lot of videos there that I've done in the past. This last week, I got hired on to do a yard, and I have a riding mower, and I get up on my riding mowers as best I can. Eventually, I have trouble getting on it, but I started this big yard, and as I was going, uh, I went one way, and then I went another way, and then I kept going around pretty much in circles. I wasn't focused on where I needed to go. I wasn't focused on the route that I needed to take. Uh, and then I stopped and I said, okay, find the path that you need to be on. Find your path as how you're going to have to mow, and that way it gets done in a good manner. In other words, when I was just out there, I was going from point A to point B, from point B to point C, back to point B, back to point, and it was just around, and it was just confusing. So I finally stopped, and then I decided to go east and west, east and west, east and west, and I got that section done. So then I said to myself, find the path that you're looking for, and stay on that path, and you'll get things accomplished. As I said that to myself, I thought to myself that that's the way we are in our lives as well. We have to find our path. We have to find the way we want to travel. We have to find the way we want to go. If we go in circles, if we go from this point to that point, and sometimes we're in a confused state of confusion as to what we're supposed to do. When we do that, we have a tendency of making mistakes. We have a tendency of not finding the right road. We have a tendency of missing things. So as I was mowing, I found out, I looked behind, and I had strips of tall grass, and then I had strips of short grass, and I was missing a lot. So when I realized that I needed to take one path, one direction, that's what I needed to do. I needed to make up my mind as to what path I was going to do. As I was looking at that, I thought to myself, for my life in general, my life and people's lives that I've talked to sometimes, the path that they take can be a confusing path. And sometimes we get lost in that path because we get distracted, and we end up going another route, knowing full well that the route we're taking at first is the route that we should be taking. But we get sidetracked. We travel in our family. We tend to travel a lot, and my brothers and I have what we call the Franco trip, and the Franco route is pretty much a route that we get on the highway, and we want to get to point B, but we're going to take every other road, and we're not going to go straight. We're not going to go straight from point A to point B. We're going to go point A, point B, point C, and we're going to go all over the place. It might take us 8 or 9 hours to get to a 2 hour trip, but we find different roads. In life, we do that a lot. We have a goal that we want to have, and then we get distracted, and we end up going to another road. The problem is that we get to a little bitty road, and we're making mistakes. It's too bumpy. There's holes, there's bumps that we don't need to, and then we have to make a U-turn. Eventually, we come back to the main road where it leads us to our goal. As we're going through our lives, as we're going through our goals, what goals do you have? Some time back, I talked about the goals that we have. That sometimes we have the short-term goals, we have the mid-term goals, and then we have the long-term goals. The long-term goals are the ones where we get lost a lot. In the short-term goals, we make a lot of decisions and we become successful. It encourages us to continue forward because we are successful. Many times we are successful in our short-term goals and we get there quicker. We get confused, we get sidetracked, we get people who come into our lives and say, no, that's not the right way to do it. Everybody's going to have an opinion. As I fish, people tell me you need a boat so you can go out there and fish better. But one of the things that I've noticed, and I think I've talked about this, one thing that I've noticed is people, when they're on a boat, guess what they're doing? They're fishing towards the bank. They're fishing towards the same area I'm fishing to, except they have a different view, they have a different perspective from where they're fishing. They're going out there, but they're fishing to the bank. I, on the other hand, am on the bank and I'm fishing to where they are on their boat. Which one of us is wrong? Neither one of us is wrong. It's just the way that we view how to fish. Some people tell me you need to get this kind of lure, you need to go do this, you need to do that, and you need to do that. And my concept of fishing is just to go out there, have a relaxing time. If I catch something, I'm happy. If I don't catch nothing, I'm happy. People go for record-breaking fish. That's fine with them. But that's not my view of a successful fishing trip. Now, if I catch a big fish, I'm really happy. But my perspective of fishing, same thing with making our goals. When we make our goals, just like when I was mowing, if I don't stick to a route and make a plan of what I'm going to do and make a plan of how I'm going to mow these yards, then it gets chaotic, it gets confusing, it gets frustrating, and I'm not accomplishing anything. As we go through our lives, as we go through our situations that we have, what focal point do you have? What is your ultimate goal sometimes? Where is it that you want to go? What is the goal that you want to make? And that's the important part. What goal do you have in your life that you want to get to? Now, as you're traveling, are you traveling in a confusing way, or are you traveling in a way that is not as confusing and not as distracting? If you're traveling and you're confused and you're frustrated and you just want to give up, then I ask you to stop. I ask you to stop, look at the route once again, look at the route and see what you're doing wrong and see what path you need to take. I wrote something the other day on my Facebook, and it said sometimes we have to look at our path so that we're not confused anymore. We have to make a direct path. We have to figure out the path in our life so that we can get to where we're supposed to be going. Now, one of the things that I'm going to ask you to do is, if you're frustrated with the goals that you have in life, if you're frustrated with your patterns that you have, then stop and redo them and refocus. Refocus on the things. Find the path that you need to take, whether it be in your spiritual life, whether it be in emotional life, whether it be in your physical life. Some people who want to lose weight, they get frustrated because they lose their focus, they lose their path, they lose the way they want to do things. Some people in the spiritual realm, in religious realms, they get confused because they're reaching out for so many things that they don't have that pathway and they lose sight of what they need to be going. This is Javier Franco. I'll be talking to you all again next week. Please join me once again. Perspective from my porch. Thank y'all.